It is time for your serving of politics. On the right, Abdul Hakim-Shabazz. On the left, Kip 2. Gentlemen, good morning. Education is a big deal in our state. More than half of the budget is spent on public education. We now will have a new superintendent of public instruction. Will it mean anything in the coming years?
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting thing to watch over the next legislative session for sure. Whether Republicans got the message of Glenda Ritz or not, first early indications are they didn't. They're going to ignore what the message was, sounds to me like, and that could spell trouble for them.
I have to respectfully disagree with my good friend, Mr. Two.
No, you're not going to disagree, are you?
No, I mean, the reforms that are in place are not going to be rolled back. They're not going to be changed. Everyone has made this perfectly clear from the governor, both governor incoming, outgoing governor, Senate Pro Tem.
Everybody, the voters made it perfectly clear.
Yeah,
but
which is why they gave Republicans a 69-seat supermajority.
I'm sorry, were they running on education
all those
reform?
people who support education reform.
Were they running on education reform?
Yeah, actually, that was part of their platform.
Was it?
So
Were there a lot of mailers that went out on education reform?
Well, the people weren't using. Let me put this way: people weren't campaigning on government time.
You don't need me. They just Let's talk about the supermajority. I'm going to cut you off really quick.
Yeah.
It's limited time. Supermajority. I was in Illinois for 5 weeks with the Democrats. I enjoyed the trip because I enjoyed watching democracy
Glad
at
you
work.
like my mom's hometown, by the way.
I enjoyed democracy at work, but there will be no more trips to Illinois because at this point, the supermajority, Republicans can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want within the confines of the electoral process, I guess is what I would say. I think that actually, all kidding aside, the Glenda Ritz thing, I think, should throw some caution to them about going too far. I don't know whether they'll take that message. It doesn't sound like that they're going to, except that they have sort of backed off the appointed position and thrown her out of office once she won. That's about the only thing that it looks to me like. Look, the message of the Glenda Ritz campaign is that teachers are out there and they don't like being beat up upon. I think teachers are for standards. I think teachers want their children to succeed. I think the vast majority of teachers in the state of Indiana are doing the Lord's work, if you will, and they are working hard and doing well. And they didn't like the way Tony Bennett was beating up on them, and that was the message.
God forbid people be held accountable for their jobs.
I said they want to be accountable.
No, but I would argue that Glenda Ritz is not as much of a mitigating factor on the supermajority as Richard Murdoch is, with his position on rape, abortion.
I'm going to cut you off on that, okay, because our 2-minute time is up. We will have more from the best of our team in politics on This Week in Indianapolis. Of course, you can watch it every Sunday morning, and our conversation will continue on the IndyChannel.com. As we continue our conversation on the IndyChannel.com, I did cut you off on the broadcast. You were saying.
No, I think Kip is right that the Republicans won't go overboard, but it won't be because of Glenda Ritz. It'll be more likely because of what happened to Richard Murdoch and the Tea Party and just the shellacking, the term we like to use these days, that social conservatives brought to the election table this year. And so that basically tells Brian Bosma, David Long, they can go to their members and say, hey, all this far-right stuff you guys want to do, you saw what happened to Richard Murdoch. It can happen to us. We're focusing on jobs, the economy, and education, and keeping the state fiscally sound. That's it.
Well, I don't disagree that hopefully they got the message of the Murdoch campaign, but they need to also pay heed to what happened with Glenda Ritz and Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett was the poster child for a certain kind of education reform. I think that what Republicans would they don't need my political advice, but if they were asking, I would say they do need to sit down and bring the teachers into the conversation. They like to beat up on the teachers union, and the teachers union in the past has deserved some blame. There's no question about it. But the fact of the matter is most of the people in the classroom in the state of Indiana and across the country are trying to do right by the kids, and they want accountability. They want their kids to succeed. They need to be part of the conversation.
No, but the thing is, though, and let's keep this in mind, too. I would give the teachers credit. They ran a heck of a social media campaign, and that's how they won. They were in a stealth underground ground game. Had the Republicans and people been paying attention to it, we'd have probably had a little bit of a different result. But I think the teachers have actually kind of overstepped their bounds because they're still kind of going on and spiking the football when you have teachers down in southern Indiana basically equating Tony Bennett to Hitler in YouTube pages and clips. I mean that's when you
have goofballs on every side.
That's when you overstep your bounds.
That's not what Glenda Ritz has done in any way. And if you want to take, it's like equating the guys that want to secede from the union with the Republican Party. You can't do that. That's not fair. Most Republicans don't want to secede from the union because Barack Obama won. You need to say, Glenda Ritz is the duly elected superintendent of public instruction.
Which she will be. Which she will be for the next 4 years before it's turned into an appointed position like they did with the clerk of the courts back in 05-06 with David Lewis.
Do you think that'll happen? There has been talk about making the position one that's going to be appointed by the governor at some point in the future. Do you think this will give cause to that debate? Will the Republicans who now have...
They've already backed off that, so I think his prediction's incorrect. I think Brian Bosma's already said they're not going to pursue that. One of the messages they at least got was, if you go in there right away and you say, okay, we're going to eliminate a position, then the public would be outraged to say, you didn't even hear what we said, right? She got 50, how much percent
53.
of the vote? 53%
But the thing
of
is,
the
though,
vote.
but she's entitled
Go.
entitled to finish her term, which the Republicans will more likely do. But there's nothing to say you can't make an appointed position come 2016. Run a candidate for governor who knows how to run a race, win it, then you get the whole ball of wax.
A spirit discussion as always. They are the best in the business on the right. Abdul, Hakim-Shabazz. Look at that, even a pat on the back on the left.
It was
Cheers.
patronizing.
It was patronizing. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching the IndyChannel.com.